What was the turnaround in the second half?
Well, you've got to give the Kings credit for that. They did a good job of disrupting. They switched a lot of things. They made us and wanted us to go quick, and that's the style of game that they wanted to play. And we fell into that trap, but we also didn't make shots. I mean, you make shots, and then that goes good for you. But that thing of understanding the tempo, we just didn't get the ball through hands. And we spoke about what we needed to do, the adjustments. The biggest adjustment was with our defence, because you can't give up 30 a quarter and expect to win too many games. So, they got hot and started to hit some threes, and that time was going to come. But we weren't taking something away. They were hitting threes, but they were also getting stuff to the paint. And if you're going to make some inroads on people, you got to be able to try and disrupt somehow. We weren't doing that, and you've got to give them credit. I mean, they got some players who pretty tough matchups, and we struggled with that. But, we spoke about some adjustments at half-time, and I thought the guys did a good job of coming out and cranking up the defence. And we got a couple of stops, and we started to get some momentum, and then we started to make some shots, some threes, as well as getting some layups. And it was sort of like we gave them the medicine that they gave us in the second quarter. We gave them in the third. And the pleasing thing was, we had a few guys who were struggling, and they were able to turn that around. I thought Larry, after half-time coming out, his rebounding was absolutely sensational, as well as his defence. Oscar started to make a few shots. Matty's defence was great, and we started to get it through hands, and it always looks a lot better when you start making shots. So, that's what the game's about. I mean, that's why it's so tough to get a win in the NBL, and I don't think people give enough teams credit for how tough it really is. So, we knew we were in for a real dogfight, and they're only going to obviously get better and better. I thought, again, we had guys that come off the bench tonight. Timmy Berendorf, when Larry got into foul trouble. We're bringing guys off the bench that are giving us that lift that we need to have, and that's what a team is all about. And the most important thing is that you don't lose track of that. I mean, Gary can't score his points if guys aren't, prepared to give something up and get it through hands, and the bigs are going to do some stuff. So it's a whole team thing. So, when we score a basket, usually it's coming from someone or what the other guys are giving us. And, it's pleasing tonight, because we've got a number of guys who can score for us. So different teams, we want to go different ways.
Matty, how important was the crowd tonight in lifting you guys in that initial period of the third quarter when you were down?
Oh yeah, we saw the crowd support at the start of the game. It was just a matter of getting them into the actual, getting out of them. So, from our point of view, the way we played, like Gordie sort of said, it was, we made those first few buckets. The crowd really lift, and you feel that when you're on the floor, and that really does help you. That gives you that little extra step, makes you a bit quicker. We got a few stops after that as well, and that caused the momentum shift in the game.
And people start to sort of say, well, they're maybe not the underdog anymore. You guys have kind of thrived on that.
Yeah.
How do you think that dynamic? Do you think that dynamic will change how you do things, or is it just a matter, as Gordie said, it's just going through the process week in, week out?
Yeah, well, it's going to be up to us. We've got to make sure we make everybody aware of that sort of scenario within the group, and that started to creep in. I think this week, the fact that we went into this game as not the underdogs and stuff like that, where we normally are, and that's something that we have to focus on. But the coaching staff do a good job of breaking it all the way back down to the basics. Focus on the process that we have in place. You do the things that the game plan says, and we go out there. You play that style that we've played for the last couple of years, and then that should put you at least in the game to have a chance of winning it.
In all those years, the Kings were just giving it to you guys every time.
It's awesome. I love having the Kings back in the league. I think it's good for Wollongong, but it's good for the league. They're a team that everybody likes to beat, no matter who they put on the floor. And I was excited that they were back in the league this year. And this is a date that's been penciled in my diary for a long time. And it was good for us to come out and I knew, as Gordie said, we knew that they were going to be scrappy. We knew that they were going to play hard, and to respond the way we did in the second half and get that victory, which means so much to not only us as players, but to past players. And I think of some of the guys that have now passed on through the club that were so passionate about beating Sydney. And it was back in the day when we were last, I think by 3 games, the most important thing about that year was just beat Sydney at home. And you know, those are the days that I still remember in my head and being sat down before a game and spoken to like that. And you know, it's the biggest rivalry I think we've got. Probably the biggest rivalry in the NBL at the moment, the Kings versus the Hawks, and you know, that's something we want to keep going.
Apart from the adjustments you made at half time, as the captain, what do you put in the passion bucket to lift the team?
Oh, look, it's about trying to put it out there on the actual court. You know, it's whenever you're out there and you're playing hard, you just got to see if everyone will follow you. So.
Passion bucket.
The last quarter of the way through the season now, and I know no one's going to get carried away with that sort of thing, but you're on the cusp of really, you know, leaving footprints as one of the best Hawks teams ever. You know, again, I know it's a long way to go. Long way to go. Long way to go. I did say quarter of the way through the season. But yeah, would it be nice to be, I don't know, just to have that record alongside that 87 team?
Oh, look, you know, you always, whenever you play, you know, you build up and you'd like to get those milestones as you go along. But I think the most important part for our group is that, you know, we've still got 2 guys that are sitting on the sideline that are injured at the moment, that are absolute beasts of players. You know, so I think as a group we're playing well, but we've still got a lot of room to improve, and that's the encouraging side of it. Like, I don't think we've hit our straps as a group. Like on the night, we probably had 4 or 5 guys that play well, but we haven't had a full squad to play well, and that's the important part for us. We're still learning the process again about what it takes to win, and you know, the good thing about it, we're learning as we go, and we can learn. And in today's game, we made adjustments after 1 quarter, so that's good to see a team that can make an adjustment and not just fall into a hole and get blown out.
You know, we think about where we are. We had 2 tough ones against the Tigers. We're 7-1 now, but we could have easily been 4-4, easily. Or we could have been 3-5. That's just the way it is. You think about the games we got over the line in against Gold Coast, against Townsville. I mean, it's tough here. So, you know, they're bringing another piece to the puzzle, or maybe 2, whatever it is. I don't know. But getting Luke Martin back, they're getting the guy that they backed, that they wanted as the point guard. We know what Lukey's like. They've obviously got a great centre in Khazzouh. You know, Graham Dan's been doing a really good job, and so has all those other guys. So, you know, when they get everyone back and going and get their system worked out with, you know, because it's new coaches, new players, you know, they'll be there and they'll be making some noise, and there's a long, long way to go.
What happened in the second period for that turnaround by the Hawks?
Yeah, we spoke about it after the game. We just, again, we'd come out flat in the 3rd quarter. You know, we had a good lead. It wasn't that we were looking to protect the lead, we wanted to build on it. I think we didn't get it through hands, we didn't space the court well enough because they were just in a switching defence. And that got them going. You know, but even after 4.5 minutes, we were still a point up, even though we couldn't offensively connect. So, you know, that was probably the start of the slide.
No, I don't think you can blame any one player at all. I think when you're up 12 at the half, it takes a team to lose that. And we came out, like Moose said, flat. When they made a couple of big shots, our head went down. We went away from everything that was working for us. First half, we got the ball through hands. We were looking unbelievable. That's the second quarter, is probably one of the better games of the 3rd quarters I've ever played. People getting through hands, everyone was scoring. And in that 3rd quarter, when we got in a little bit of a hole, I think we resorted to one-out basketball, one-on-one basketball, which you're never going to win a basketball game that way. And yeah, I think people tried to take it on their own back, which kind of didn't work for us. I think for us to win basketball games, we're going to have to play team basketball for 40 minutes. And if we're able to do that, if we're able to rebound the ball, get out, run, play team basketball, we'll beat any team.
Is Gary Evans pretty much unguardable?
Yeah, you know, like, obviously he's a tough player. But I would say that we didn't do a bad job on him. You know, they run a lot of ups for him, you know, up plays with Davison, you know, peeking and popping, and he comes off that. So, you know, we had our game plan. I haven't got the stats, I don't know what he had in the first half, but we did a good job on him in the first half. Got no idea what he scored in the first half.
15.
Yeah. But again, I thought we did a good job on him. Could it be better? Yeah.
Do you feel that this tonight, that despite what happened in the second half, there is something to work with? You've got a guy coming in now that that should.
Look, I'm not going to deviate from where we are. We've shown that we're going to be competitive. We had a 4-minute quarter or a 5-minute quarter in that game that absolutely killed us. We've got a guy coming in who will help us. No question. But I think we've got the pieces again. I still believe we've got the pieces that'll be competitive in this league. And the reality is we've got Luke Martin back for the first time. We've got Wagner in to replace Cooper. That takes time. We've had to change our one of our imports. We've had Luke Kendall in, and we had to move him on. So it's been a fairly difficult 2 weeks.
And the schedule hasn't been kind at all, which is probably really been, you probably touched on it a few times this year, you've been asked about the schedule, but it really has done you no favours for a team that's trying to get back and find its feet again in the league, and this stop-start schedule, I think you're the only team that's had 2 buys, surely. So.
Yeah, well, I know the league will say that it's timing or something at the entertainment centre, but that's not the only venue where you play. But again, look, it is what it is. We now come into a period where we've got 8 games in a month. Yeah. So for us, that's probably going to be a good sign. And we look forward to that.
Are you concerned about Ben Knight at all? I mean, he still doesn't look right to me, and he's still really struggling. Doesn't seem to appear to have any lift at all. Sort of concern there?
Well, I actually thought in the second quarter he actually stiffened us up a bit.
Him out on the court, mate, it's not necessarily him. He doesn't have to do much, just his presence out there makes you want to play harder.
He's prepared to put himself. He's prepared to hit on screens and block out, and so he is a presence. I'd actually like to see him go head-to-head with Davidson, because I cannot believe that some of the things he does are just not cool. I cannot believe it. But anyway, that's I'm not a referee. Hey.
And I guess one positive was you got some really good minutes out of Jared Scoins and Benny Manchell. Benny's been really struggling early on. He was 4 for 4 in the first half. Obviously, like everybody else, struggled in the second half, but both of them gave him a good lift off the bench.
Well, their energy, we talk about contagious positive energy, and they demonstrated in the first half, and that's how we have to play.
Yeah.
And we've got to do that all the time. I mean, these guys putting their hand up saying, I need a break. We didn't have that in the second half. We did not have the same level of energy that was required to win, a second half of basketball.
Do you know why that's the case? Why the team came out and played as they did?
I don't. Bloody hell, if I did, I'd be sitting here in a different scenario. I don't know, I'm at a loss. As I said, it wasn't about protecting the lead, it was just the effort level wasn't there. We didn't sprint the lanes, we didn't kick it ahead, we didn't move the ball, we didn't, set the on balls and da-da-da-da. So it's a bit frustrating.
What's the thing you're most going to focus on this week?
Trying to get a win.
Well, other than that, anything particular? Take out fun, what's the biggest thing you have to improve on?
How did that go? Again, we focused a lot this week on just getting the ball through hands, putting it on the second side of the court to shift the D, and that'll be the same message. Because that's what we need to do.
Where does this one sit, the one that got away, in terms of how much it hurts? Where does it sit?
When I've got knuckleheads in the stand giving us shit for about a whole 3/4 of the game, that hurts. I don't appreciate that, because that's not what sport's about. So that's annoying, and that's not what sport's about. So yeah, it hurts the players, I'm sure. But that's what you get in a hostile environment. And as disappointing that is, it probably makes us a little bit stronger for it. So when they come to Sydney, we'll give it back tenfold.
Would you consider taking it further to the league, making a play?
No, they're not going to do anything. It's frustrating for us because we've got the pieces, we've got the players, and it's going to, games like this, it's a learning curve and it hurts. Our guys are upset. I think they're upset more the way they played in the second half. that we couldn't execute the way we wanted to. So in terms of where it sits, no, I don't like any losses. Who does?